I've reviewed G4, G3.5, G3, most of my channel is G2 reviews, and I've reviewed a fan work. So it seems time that I review G1. And when I do, I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Well, the opening is... What? Okay, this is My Little Pony. The premise is fairly self-explanatory, but what is this? It's just a lot of running, spinning, flying, splashing. It reminds me a lot of the opening for that Sonic cartoon. Not Satyam, the bad one. Although one thing I should clarify before I go any further, this was originally just called My Little Pony, but then they made the series, so Hasbro called this Rescue at Midnight Castle. But then later renamed it Rescue from Midnight Castle, with some edits I'll get onto when they come. And then it was later released as Firefly's Adventure. Not only that, but the UK VHS release was called My Little Pony in Dreamland. I have no idea why they didn't just pick a name and stick with it, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to go off the video I found on Dailymotion, which was called... Oh no...
Look out, Twilight! Here I go! Now it's my turn!
What, are they on the moon? What's going on? Why do all the ponies have ribbons on their tails? Am I the only one who thinks Firefly said deadly, not medley? Maybe they should have done another take on that. And she crashes into Applejack's apples.
Applesauce, anyone? My little pony, my little pony.
Wait, what? I swear I didn't edit that. It just goes, applesauce, cruel intentions.
Twilight, will I ever fly like Firefly and Megan? No, Ember. Not all little ponies can fly.
Okay, now I see why Tara Strong got the part of Twilight instead of Pinkie Pie. Also, Ember is like the G1 Scootaloo.
Ember, you'll grow up to be your own special little pony.
Wait, what?
It's the Stratodon!
What the heck are Stratodons? Okay, those things. What is this, on fast forward or something?
You are all doomed! Soon every pony will belong to T-Rack, the master of Midnight Castle!
Aha! I am the villain. Here's my contact details and place of residence. Next we're in... the Black Cauldron.
I can slither really fast, Scorpion. Really fast.
Not now, Spike! Not now!
Hi, Charlie Adler. I look forward to seeing you in Star Trek Online. Speaking of Star Trek, this is Scorpan, voiced by the late Ron Taylor, who played a Klingon chef in DS9. I just thought that was cool. As for Scorpan, well... he's some guy trying to pull off the gargoyle look. Bitch please. But that does bring up a problem with this episode. Because most scenes are a minute or two long, there's no real time to get to know any of these characters. I won't say develop since this is a pilot. But because things come and go very quickly, plot points, developments and character backstories just come out of nowhere with no explanation. Anyway, Scorpan enters the throne room while Tyrek rubs his sack. Oh thank fuck.
But I need 4 ponies for my chariot, not 2, not 3, 4.
This is Tyrek, the big evil bad for this episode, and from what has been explained, he needs 4 ponies to pull his chariot. But why? Like I said, there's no explanation, just... we're not in Kansas anymore.
Look, TJ, a shooting star.
This is Megan. Now, how should I best describe Megan? If I'm being honest, she's just a self-insert character for the audience. But according to Firefly...
You're strong. No, I'm not. You can fight. No, I can't. And you can fly.
You know, I would point out that this is a bad idea, but the VA for Firefly was also in Swan Princess, so...
Pony feathers.
Did she just swear?
They'll be dancing on air when they meet you.
And now we get a musical number. I should say, when I first watched this, I thought it was just Firefly singing. But after a few listens, I realised it's a duet between Firefly and Megan. Also, this whole thing, not just this song, has the lip sync of an English dub of a Japanese anime. After the song, they arrive back at the castle.
Run, everybody.
That wasn't even 20 seconds. Of all the times you could have given us a proper introduction to these characters, you skip it for this poorly choreographed kidnapping scene where Ember and some pony we don't know gets taken.
Leave this land. This battle is not yours.
Okay, bye.
What are you doing, you beast?
Take my invisible sword. Hiya, hiya. Well, they go to save the ponies and stop Tyrek, and the next scene is them crossing the bridge. Not much to say apart from Applejack falls into the water and Megan jumps in after her. And that's the end of that part. Wait, that's just the start with end credits over it. The myth, the legend, the sea ponies. I don't know, I've seen Rainbow Rocks. Also, of all the things to be lazy about here, why did they choose colour palette? I mean, that one's got Firefly's colours, that one's got bow ties, that one's got embers. But honestly, this is a good scene. Good song, good animation. The only stumbling block is this line from Applejack.
It was great!
The sea ponies give Megan a shell to call them if she needs to. Why not give her your mobile number? And they move on to Moochick's house.
Yes, T-Rex going to force your friends to bring in the night that never ends.
So what, he's Nightmare Moon? Also, why does he want to bring about the night that never ends? Speaking as someone who writes the reviews as I'm the villain, T-Rex a weak villain in any generation. I mean, Nightmare Moon wanted Eternal Night because of jealousy, whereas T-Rex wants it because. The one thing that Moochick does explain is that T-Rex gets his power from a rainbow of darkness. Contradictory, but I'll let it slide. And that they need a rainbow of light. Redundant, but I'll let it slide, to defeat him. And this is what I was referring to when I said some edits earlier. In the full-length version of this, Moochick sang a song while looking for the rainbow, but when they were editing this to include it in the series, they took the song out to save time. Without hearing it, all I can say is I don't see what benefit having a song here would have had, but here his partner just gives it to him.
Well, it's better than nothing.
But of course it is!
I think the people who bought Mighty No. 9 would disagree. But while we're on this, I don't see why Moochick is in this. He doesn't add anything to the story. Or Megan, or many of the other things, but...
Goodbye, Mr. Moochick, and thanks again!
Hey, I haven't seen my watch, have ya?
Great audio there. The next scene, the ponies have made it to Midnight Castle, and Megan uses the shell she got earlier to call the sea ponies. And the ponies are very patient in waiting for them.
Where are they? They said they'd help.
We tried, Master, but
Then try again. If by midnight my chariot does not roll.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling, trying to catch me riding dirty. Is that racist?
Scorpion! Scorpion!
we're getting out of here. Right now! Come on, it's almost midnight.
While that's going on, the ponies and Megan wander about the castle. And I've got to ask this. Is this how tall everyone envisioned the ponies being? I don't know, I always imagined they were taller. Mind you, if Celestia and Luna are horse height. Well, during my pondering, Applejack gets caught, and her eyes turn blue all of a sudden.
You seek the rainbow of darkness. It is mine, and so is your friend.
Oh no, I've seen where this is going. Okay, maybe this isn't some creepy sex dungeon, but it certainly looks like one.
Run, ponies!
Now that he has 4 whatever those things are, T-Rex chariot flies, somehow. But Scorpion isn't going to let him bring the night that never ends without a fight.
Give me that knife!
Oh, it's mine!
Wow, that's a conveniently placed haystack.
Hold on, I'm going for the double loop again!
Pardon me, could you stop calling out random attack names? Well, that for some reason works, and now we see the true origin of that most famed of all My Little Pony battle strategies. Keep away.
I wish!
If they're wanting to destroy the Rainbow of Darkness, why didn't she just throw it in the river? Firefly gets it, and then T-Rex gets it back, so Megan unleashes her own rainbow that destroys the Rainbow of Darkness, and... wow, some things never change. The land has turned all green again, and Scorpion?
T-Rex turned me into Scorpion when he took over my kingdom.
Because that explains everything. And that's My Little Pony Rescue at Midnight Castle Rescue from Midnight Castle, Firefly's Adventure in Dreamland. And that amount of titles pretty much sums up the problem with this. George Arthur Bloom clearly has a lot of ideas, but he doesn't know how to focus on just one. Instead, he bounces around here, there, and everywhere. Of course, it doesn't help that the show tries to keep to that 10-minute episode length. But I think if the writing had more focus on what it was doing and maybe made it a 20-minute episode similar to Friendship is Magic, it would flow better. Because the core good versus evil story is actually quite interesting. If you got rid of Megan, got rid of Mewchick, and maybe got rid of the sea ponies, it depends on how you write it, and just made the story about the ponies going to save their friends and stop Tyrek, you'd have more time for the characters, and the end result would be less of a clusterfuck. And now, for me to claim my reward! Ha 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 ha!